I'm here, and I'm late, and in just a moment I'll tell you why. I just need to get my coffee ready. It's Friday. Woo! Friday. Fridays is the best day. It's not, but it's a good day. And here we go in a 3, and a 2, and a 1. I feel like I should do a dance now. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday, May 29th, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. So, I make my coffee, as many of you know, using a pour over. It's actually a tea strainer. And to heat the water up, I use a Keurig K-cup machine. Right? And I did everything, and I pressed the button, and it went for like 2 minutes. And I went, oh, that's not good. And then it just kind of stopped. I pressed the button again, and it went for about a minute this time, and then it made hot water. So I was 3 minutes behind because of my coffee maker. Not my fault. I hope you had a great Thursday. I hope you're looking forward to Friday. And the weekend, it looks like it's going to be a hot, stormy one here. Yet again, plants are not going outside, and they're very sad about that. Some of them are getting quite cranky inside. Wednesday. It looks like Wednesday is the day I can start planting the rest of the things I have. And what's going on today? Client work, having a conversation with a young man named Justin, who is spearheading a project related to Marshall Journal. Some of you know what that might be. Aside from that, what else is going on? Sunday here is Green Up Day. Green Up Day is kind of a fun, let's call it a holiday in Vermont. It was supposed to be earlier in May, but due to everything that's going on with COVID-19, it was kicked back. And Green Up Day is a state-sponsored cleanup day of the entire state, where a large number of people get out and pick up trash and tires and just find junk in rivers and in ditches and bag it up, and the state takes care of all the disposal fees. It's all volunteer driven. I think there's one full-time employee for the organization, and that's it. It's a pretty amazing program, and what I love about it is that so many people from all levels of the social hierarchy, we'll say, get involved. This is not a thing that only one particular group of people does. Everybody in Vermont comes out. And I don't mean literally everyone, but I mean all sorts of people come out for this. And it's great. When I moved to Vermont and I learned about this, it blew my mind. It's part of our culture here. We take care of our land. And it's why Vermonters get a little bit frustrated when people come in to visit and they don't respect it. Yeah, so that's going on. I will likely do some cleanup. I don't know how much, but I did a bunch a couple weeks ago. Pounds, tens of pounds. So we'll see. Stacy, who lives in Vermont, says, love seeing all those green bags afterwards, though I wish they weren't needed. Yeah. And what she's referencing is that the bags that are given out are, they're green. The trash bags are green. And you fill them up and put them on the side of the road, and people will drive by and grab them, and they're green because they will take them for free at the recycling station or the dump, whatever. We only have one landfill, so I guess we can't call it a dump anymore. Gabe asked, how long have I lived in Vermont? Since 2001. I came here right after college and fell in love. Vermont is very much like Maine was when I grew up. Maine has changed a lot. Vermont's not changed very much. It's awesome. So that's this weekend. What happened yesterday? Recorded another episode. Started working on the promotion for the speed development program. Email. Worked on crap for my junk car. Anybody want to buy a junk car? I'm going to make you overpay for it because I'm going to make the dealers pay me back. Almost in full. It's awful. One of the questions on the forums, on the Lemon Law forum, was, what was the mileage when you first started experiencing problems? 1274. And to be honest, that number is wrong. That's the mileage I got it into the dealer. The actual problem started hundreds of miles before that. It wasn't even 1,000 miles before I had a problem. Yay. But I felt better as I was writing all this stuff out because the case is pretty compelling. It's pretty clear that this car has been junk for over a year. What else did I do yesterday? Client stuff, went to the grocery store. Grocery stores are weird right now. You know, you're wearing your mask, you're walking around, and at least people are starting to try to smile. I mean, you can't see a smile, right? Can't see a smile through a mask. Can you tell? There's a little bit of movement in my eyes. That's it. And at least people are looking you in the eye now, at least around here. A couple weeks ago, everybody had their head down. Nobody's paying attention to what was going on around them. It was as if acknowledging other people was going to infect you. That would be a terrible disease. But I secured some provisions, came home, made some food, went to bed. Pretty simple day. Today, what's going on today? I got a lot of plants to water. And I gotta bring all that lemon law stuff because I gotta make all kinds of copies. I'll bring that up to my client's office in Williston. There's a big copier there. I'll copy and scan that stuff and have that call with Justin. Have a call with hopefully a new client. And we'll see where the rest of the day takes me. You know, it's one of the downsides of what's going on is impromptu activity just doesn't exist. Oh, maybe after work I'll go to this bar and have a drink, and maybe I'll see a friend there, or make a new friend, or I'll go to this restaurant, or I'll go do... Nope. Your options are pretty much, I'm going to go home, or I'm going to go buy food at a store. I mean, that's like just about it. It's alright. It's getting better. I think by the end of summer, it'll be okay. I'm not going to make any big sweeping predictions or anything, because that doesn't matter. I've said it before on this show. My opinion on this doesn't matter. I am not qualified to state my opinion. I have opinions. We all have opinions. But they don't matter. Now, I'm going to see what you all wrote for me to respond to. Questions, comments, things like that. And for those of you listening, watching, if you have those things that you would like to ask or say, drop them below. I'll respond in the next installment, which happens to be Monday. Remember when I did this show 7 days a week, and it was whenever I woke up? That was weird. I'm glad we stopped doing that. Come on, tablet. There we go. Come on. I think I need to restart this thing. Here it comes. All right. Well, let's start it off with some jokes, courtesy of Frank. Thanks, Frank. Funday Friday. The jokes for Funday Friday. I went to the optometrist the other day, and in the waiting room, they had a big sign that said, if you can't see what you're looking for, then you've come to the right place. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm back. I wanted to join Paranoids Anonymous, but no one is ever willing to tell me where the meetings take place. Good stuff. I love Frank's jokes. Hopefully they bring a smile to your face. They make your face smile. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Bruce Lee. I'm not 100% sure that's originally his. I think that's an old Chinese saying. But regardless of where it comes from, it is equally valid. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Who wants an easy life? Where's the growth? Where's the enjoyment? Where's the challenge? What would an easy life be? Think about it. Remember that lottery winners tend to go bankrupt because on some level they know they don't deserve the money. People who earn money, who overcome challenges, are happier. They've accomplished something. They've bettered themselves through the process. If you have the grit, the strength to overcome challenges, whether that be in your training or at a testing, at a competition, or outside of martial arts, you stand to become a better person. Because let's face it, it's having a little bit of color, a little bit of roughness to things that makes life worth living. Why do we value paintings? If the goal of a painting was to make it perfect, the moment photography came along, no one would care about painting. Right? We're all living our own life, and the choices we make, that becomes kind of our artistic flavor that we put on what's going on. The way I experience this might be different than the way you experience this. The choices I make may be different than the choices you make. And that's not only okay, it's good. It's that diversity that makes us better. We talk about diversity in martial arts training. Diversity in perspective is just as important, more important, if we want to be honest. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Grit's a muscle. You can condition it. That difficult life makes it easier for you to handle anything that's coming. Conditioning yourself, adapting, is a word we keep using, to an easy life makes you that much less able to endure a challenge. In true budo, there is no enemy or opponent. True budo is to become one with the universe, not trained to become powerful or to throw down some opponent. Rather, we train in hopes of being of some use, however small our role may be, in the task of bringing peace to mankind around the world. Morihei Ueshiba, also known as O-sensei of the founder of Aikido. Budo, the warrior spirit, is how I think of it. It's a code. True budo is to become one with the universe, not to train to become powerful or to throw down some opponent. There's another example of us talking about what it means to be a warrior versus a fighter. A warrior has the opportunity to impact the world outside of war or combat. A fighter does not. To be a warrior is to be a fighter and so much more. And the dedicated traditional martial artist, whether they realize it or not, often, not always, often becomes a warrior. If you want to learn to be a fighter, traditional martial arts is not the best way to become a fighter. you want to become a warrior, it is. And I wish more people understood that distinction. If you follow our social media, you know that anytime we make a comment about being a fighter, or if one of my quotes comes out about the definition of martial arts or something, people take issue with it because they're so wrapped around the fighting part. They don't get it. There are a significant number of people out there, in and outside of traditional martial arts, who think that martial arts are just about fighting. And that really bothers me. Because the irony is, those people are the ones that need the lessons that traditional martial arts teaches so much more than the combat skill. For most of us, if our goal of becoming a fighter, if that's the reason we're in traditional martial arts, most of us are going to feel disappointed, because when do you get to use that skill? I remember back in high school, one of our history teachers explaining that if you look at the history of major military development, invention, and war, there tended to be a correlation. That the moment a country thought they had some fancy new toy that would give them an advantage, they were more likely to go to war with someone. I wonder if the same is true for fighters. I've got these fancy skills. I feel good about it. I feel like I have an advantage. I would imagine that psychologically that makes someone more likely to engage in a fight. Not to say that that can't happen for the traditional martial artist, for the warrior. But I wonder if it's more likely. I don't know. Uno más. The true science of martial arts means practicing them in such a way that they will be useful at any time, and to teach them in such a way that they will be useful in all things. Miyamoto Musashi, Book of Five Rings. That's what we were just talking about. I didn't read ahead. To take your martial arts training out of the wherever you're training, to bring it into the world, to be that warrior. You know, there's a book that I think we've had like one or two quotes from the author, Dan Millman, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. It was the first book that changed my life. And honestly, I can look back on that moment, reading that book, not a moment, but that time, reading that book. And it is a very hard line in my life, in my development. I was 19 when I read that book. And it literally changed my life. People use those words all the time. There are only a handful of things that have changed my life, and that book was one of them. If you haven't read it, you might want to consider reading it. But it's hard for me to even articulate why, because it's been so long. It was more than half my life ago. Consider the title. Let's start there. Way of the Peaceful Warrior. What does that mean? Well, you should probably read the book first. But a warrior, right, has the ability to go into battle, but is useful. We've talked about this. We've seen this expounded on in a number of quotes. Is useful even outside of the context of fighting. What's a peaceful warrior? A peaceful warrior, I would imagine, is someone who is trained not so much for battle, but for peace. And that when peace is not available, they are still useful. We talk about peace and war as opposites, but they're not entirely It's not a binary state. Just because we're not at peace doesn't mean we're at war. The peaceful warrior puts a priority on being valuable during peacetime, but is just as useful when it is not peaceful. I would suggest that maybe we don't have peace today. Historically, we do. We think in the context of how we think of war and peace, we do. But the anxiety, the stress, the messaging that we're all experiencing right now, it's not peaceful. It's not warlike. It's not militant. But it's intense. It's aggressive. And I'm really sad to see how many people are running with that view of the world, that way of life, this divisive state that we're in really bums me out. I think martial arts can be the answer. And there are a lot of warriors out there, some of them are peaceful, some are not, fighting, using the tools of martial arts to improve things. I saw something from Ryan Hoover, who has come on Martial Arts Radio. I don't remember his episode number. Ryan Hoover posted something for his school, his BJJ school, that any law enforcement officer who wants to come train, he will cover their expenses. They pay no tuition up through Blue Belt. But if they quit before Blue Belt, they have to pay the school $1,000. I like that. They're incentivizing training, because he believes that if law enforcement officers have additional tools, they will be less likely to refer to the extreme measures that some of them have been implementing. And there's a lot of other work going on. We have some big stuff going on in the background. We have big stuff going on in the foreground, and we're not alone. And I love that about this space, this industry. And I hope it continues. And I hope that as much as I want your support here for Whistlekick, I hope you're willing to support others too. You know, we're not looking to become the only company. We're looking to become the best one. And I'll work damn hard to make sure that we are. But I think it's important that other perspectives, other companies, other methods continue to exist just like martial arts. I think that's a good place to end. Now, if you're new to the show, remember, we do this every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. You can subscribe, you can turn on the notifications so you get buzzed when we go live. It's also available later in audio form. Check out this, check out Martial Arts Radio, check out all the stuff that we've got. We've got so much content and so much more coming. If you want to support the work that we do at Whistlekick, make a purchase at whistlekick.com using the code FIRSTCUP15, or go to Amazon, where we're pretty much blowing out everything we've got over there. We need to hit the reset button on Amazon and start over due to what's going on with COVID. Or you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick, patreon.com/whistlekick. And if you do contribute a few bucks, we'll give you more content to consume. There's so much that we're doing. I want to thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for joining me. And I hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday, everyone. Take care. Peace.